Well, hello, my friend. Welcome back to another episode of the From Chaos to Peace podcast, where I talk about how clutter is so much more than you think, and we put a spiritual twist on clearing that clutter to get organized. Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. Hello, my friend. I'm your host, Conny. Thank you so much for allowing me back into your ears. Last week, we explored the fire element and the intuition type with the dragon ally. And in today's episode, we're digging into the earth element, the sensation type, and how the tortoise animal ally can help us clear the clutter and get organized. But first, here a quick recap of the concept that I covered in episode 235. There are 4 elements based on astrology and ancient traditions, and they align with the archetypes found in renowned Carl Jung's psychological work. First is the fire element or the fire type, and those are the go-getters, full of passion, energy, and drive. They are what Carl Jung called the intuition type, and I assigned them the animal ally dragon. And I jumped into the fire types in the last week's episode 236. Then comes the earth element or the earth type. Those are steady and dependable. Carl Jung called them sensation type, and I assigned them with the animal ally tortoise. We will dig deeper into the element earth in this episode in a minute. But first, the third type is the air element or the air type. And those are the dreamers and the thinkers. That's why Carl Jung called them the thinking type. And I assigned them the hummingbird as their animal ally. And I will talk about air types and the air element coming up in episode 238. And lastly, we have the water types or the water element. And Carl Jung called them the feeling types. They are intuitive and empathetic, and I assigned them the dolphin as their animal ally. And we will dive into that energy in episode 239. Now, most of us, of course, are a mix of all 4 elements, but one of them is often a dominant element. Understanding your dominant element can help you embrace your natural strength and tendencies without feeling like you need to fix yourself or to put yourself into a box. We are already all free and whole. We just need to learn to work with our natural strength and stop fighting against ourselves and our innate nature. And that's the whole point. So if you're wondering now, what is your dominant element? I have created a fun quiz that helps you find out. I share how to access this quiz at the end of the episode. But now, let's dig into the earth element, the sensation type, and its tortoise ally. If earth is your dominant element, you will most likely dig into projects very methodically and structured and with a plan. And without a plan, you don't really start anything. You don't really take any action. Does that sound familiar? Earth types are steady, dependable, and thrive on structures and routines. And while they're great at following through, they often resist change or struggle with flexibility. So let's dig a bit deeper here. Let's explore the strength of the earth types. So as I said already, earth types are methodical and they are patient. And when this energy is healthy and balanced, they work structured and they drive progress in any project with their reliability and organized and methodical approach. They are the backbone of every project, keeping everyone on track with their steadiness and organized approach. And their reliability and methodical nature brings a sense of structure and consistency to the team, which ensures solid and steady progress. In short, they approach everything with patience and perseverance. They prefer a systematic and thorough approach to everything. They are very practical and their efforts very consistent. And they stay consistent and dependable, even in challenging situations. Now, with that in mind, I've chosen the tortoise as their animal ally. Tortoise symbolizes patience, resilience, and a grounded approach to life. On the other hand, there are also challenges that the earth types are facing. Just as earth is stable, it can also be stubborn and resisting change. Earth types oftentimes overthink things and therefore stay stuck in the planning phase. They're aiming for perfectionism before even taking action. They often resist new habits, routines, and doing things differently, which solidifies the pattern of not starting projects or tasks at all, or stalling the progress of projects. They're also often very critical of themselves and others when things don't go as planned. Their key challenge is really to learn to strive for progress over perfectionism and comparison, and to avoid being overly critical of themselves and others. So here are 3 tips for earth types to get and stay organized. Since earth types thrive on methodical plans and steady actions, they need milestones and consistent progress. So here are 3 tips to harness that specific energy. Earth types need to challenge themselves. They need to set ambitious but achievable goals and to start projects, even if they only would rate their plans as B+ instead of a perfect A that they're aiming for. Second, they do need to take action. They need to make sure their plans include easy steps that encourage them to take consistent actions for a steady progress. This will help build their confidence, which they are often lacking because they're so critical of themselves, and it helps them align with their need to structure. And then thirdly, I suggest they keep a praise list. Because earth types are often so overcritical of themselves and what they have accomplished, when things get hard or don't go as planned, they forget all the positive feedback they've already received. Therefore, they need to keep a list of positive feedback to A, celebrate small victories, and more importantly, B, again, to build their confidence and their motivation to keep going. Remember, the elemental quiz is your starting point to uncover your dominant energy type. It's really a fun and eye-opening way to gain more insights in how you operate best. And when you take the quiz, you get a detailed report with even more tips and strategies to help you harness your earth element. I share the link at the end of the episode. But first, I want to share 3 mini tasks that can help you jumpstart your organization projects if earth is your dominant element. 1. Limit yourself to 1 day a week to deep clean or to restructure and reorganize your priorities and tasks, and focus on imperfect actions the rest of the week. It's very important if you want to make progress. 2. Try out different approaches and organizational systems. Look at it as experiments to avoid getting stuck in old, outdated methods that don't serve you or the project anymore. And 3, use a gratitude journal to focus on all the positive progress you're making and to help you stay motivated. And this then leads me into my bonus tip, the importance of self-care. Earth types really push themselves steadily, but they do also need time to refuel. But unlike fire types who recharge through moving their body, earth types find renewal in grounding activities. So therefore, if your dominant element is earth, spend time in nature to connect and recharge. Cook or bake something delicious and share it with others and enjoy a sense of belonging. And thirdly, when you feel that critical voice creeping in, name it and apply your natural analytical skills by asking, what am I truly missing or needing? This way you use your strength to understand rather than feed your inner critic. After grounding yourself, it's time to reflect on these questions. How is the element Earth and its energy showing up in my life and business for better or worse? How do I already use my natural strength of steadiness and dependability, and how can I intentionally use it even more? Where are the Earth's element challenges of rigidity and resistance to change holding me back? After reflecting on these questions, you can make small tweaks to your approach and make sure you take action and use that action with a mindset of I'm experimenting and it doesn't have to be perfect. So this was digging in a bit deeper into the Earth element. Did you recognize yourself? Are you maybe ready to dig deeper? If you haven't done so yet, you can head over to my website, connygraf.com/quiz. That is connygraf, connygraf.com/quiz, and take the elemental quiz that I developed. And you can learn what your dominant element is. I've put together a report for each element, and it includes more organizing tips designed specifically for each element. And you get that report when you take the quiz. And here is a bonus. When you request and download that report, I will eventually also send you the extended report that I'm working on right now. The extended report will have even more resources, like more journaling prompts, a checklist and a scorecard. Something that Earth types love is a checklist. And it will also include more tips and tools that will help you harness your strength and be aware of your challenges. So head over to take the quiz. You find it at connygraf.com/quiz. Okay, my friend, that's it for today. Have a beautiful and amazing week. Talk to you next time when I dive into the air element and the hummingbird ally, the next element and archetype of the 4. Take good care. Talk to you next time. Bye for now. Hey, Conny here, your host. Thank you for listening to the podcast today. You can now take my brand new quiz and discover your inner guide and animal ally. So if you're here because you want to understand why you struggle to clear clutter and you'd love to discover the number one thing holding you back from getting and staying organized, then take my free quiz. Head over to www.connygraf.com/quiz, answer a few questions, and learn about your organizational personality style. With the insight into how you tick, it will be so much easier for you to move from chaos to peace in your life, business, and finances. You find the quiz at connygraf.com/quiz.